All right. This is Tracy Hart with KHZTV, and I am so excited to be speaking with not only a Maryland musical icon, but also one of the most respected craftsmen in the global music industry, Mr. Paul Reed-Smith. Paul, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you, Tracy. You're being sweet. I appreciate it.
Well, it's the truth. I only speak the truth. So tomorrow, your band will be performing at the Horseshoe Casino in Baltimore as the first part of a quarterly series that you guys will be doing. And you're also going to be dedicating a specially designed one of only 2 guitars that night as well. You have to be so excited.
It's a Horseshoe Casino guitar that we made, that PRS made. It was actually kind of a secret project. They didn't show me till it was done, and they walked in when it was finished. Oh, God, the thing's beautiful. So we're looking forward to presenting it tomorrow at 8:45 at Horseshoe Casino. And we're playing it on a stage that's on top of the bar. Have you ever been to this place? Have you ever seen this stage that's up in the air?
I have. Basically what it is you're standing there, so the bar, ground level with the bar in front of you, and then between what looks like a first and third floor, there's like just a second floor just for the stage.
Right. So what we've been doing is Mia, who is our singer, she's been going downstairs with a wireless mic and singing right in people's faces. So she's been walking around the casino singing to everybody while we're playing, which is just good fun.
Oh, I'm sure it is. So can I get a little idea of what the guitar is going to look like that you're dedicating, or is it top secret still?
No, it's not top secret. It's a PRS. I mean, it doesn't look like a Gibson or a Fender. It looks like a PRS. It has the logo on it for the Horseshoe. The logo's not small. It's not like something the size of a button. It's the size of the logo is almost the size of the whole guitar. It's beautiful. They did a great job. It's beautiful. For me to, release a picture of it before the presentation, that isn't going to work.
Yeah, of course not.
I would say that if you see the Horseshoe Casino logo, it's what you'll be looking at when you see the guitar.
Well, and there's going to be one really lucky winner out there, because your next performance on April 3rd, Horseshoe's going to be having a contest where somebody's actually going to be able to win the second one like that. So somebody's going to be extremely...
Maybe I should apply. I'm not allowed to apply to win it. That would be wrong. It'll be a one of a kind for whoever gets it. So, I encourage everybody to come out. Look, this is supposed to be good fun, right? If it's not good fun, it's not a casino. That's the idea of a casino, that you leave your life behind and you have a separate place to go really enjoy yourself. And the last time we played a game with the audience called Stump the Band, where they're just screaming bands at us, and we were playing the tunes back at them. At one point, they yelled Prince, and we lit into Purple Rain and a bunch of other tunes, which was just good fun. So, in a way, the more people we bring in, the better we do our job, but the more people that aren't playing the slots, the worse we're doing our job. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. We're entertaining, but they're also there to have a casino running at the same time. I like that with being able to play there. I think it's great.
So I have to ask, what was it about guitars, or what inspired you to create your first guitar when you were at St. Mary's College?
It's an interesting question. I wanted to make a guitar in the art department for credit, and the guitar teacher said, if you can turn that stack of wood into a guitar, I'll give you 4 credits, which I thought was good. There were people that played beautiful instruments, old instruments, in the D.C. music market, and I didn't have enough money to buy them. So if you don't have enough money to buy them, the only way I could get one to be in the club was to make one. So that's kind of how it started. It was not like I wanted to, I wanted to be a guitar maker. I wanted the guitar. I wanted to hold the guitar. I wanted to be able to play one, right? So they gave me the opportunity to do it for extra credit, an independent study down there, and it was a wonderful experience to start down there. And I left after about a year and a half as a math major to start my career in Annapolis in a small shop at 33 West Street to, make guitars. And that was my dream at the time. I thought I could have some impact. I thought that, I had something to offer with the guitars, but it was a long, long, long road. And I had been told my whole life that if you build a better mousetrap, people will beat it past your door. It's not true. What's true is if you build a better mousetrap, you might get an appointment. So the guitars were on the cover of Guitar Player magazine in the corner, and it was a lead article, like 4 pages in Guitar Player. And I thought, well, that was it. The phone was going to ring. We waited all month. The phone never rang.
Oh, wow.
But a few years later, when I went to get an appointment at World Serve Music in Boston, the guy said, oh, yeah, I read the Guitar Player article. Come on in. I'll give you an appointment. I thought the whole, when they were showing the guitars on, the Tom Snyder show, which was the late night at that time, or you saw them on TV or whatever, that, I'd get orders the next day. Nothing happened. That's not the way it works. The Hard Rock Cafe put a PRS up over the downtown Baltimore, right? And I thought that would have some impact. What it does is it's a gentle nudge, another gentle nudge in the direction of the company, and it helps. I mean, people in town are aware of the guitar that's over the Hard Rock, but I don't think it gets me orders. It's just another gentle nudge towards our brand.
So you're a student at St. Mary's College. You decide if you want these credits, you're going to make a guitar.
Right.
Fast forward, you have your work being displayed in the Smithsonian Museum. That's a pretty big leap.
Okay, so what happened was we went along for a bunch of years, and then I got an idea to make a dragon guitar, a guitar with an English water dragon on the fretboard. And literally we had no orders for it, none. And I finally got somebody, a dealer in Chicago, to take a few of them. And we were able to sell the ones that we had. And one of them was bought by the Chuck Levins family, by Chuck Levin and the whole family, and they paid for it. And they donated the guitar to the Smithsonian, which I thought was very sweet of them to do. So when you see the guitar, when you walk into the American History Museum, it says donated by the Levin family. You're right, it is a huge leap. And the Smithsonian had called me and said, we think eventually your company's going to be a big deal. Give us all your archives. I said, I don't think so. But maybe we can get one of these Dragon guitars donated. So, they've been very, very, very supportive for the local company. They've been great. Smithsonian's been wonderful.
So did you walk in there when it first was on display? And
oh, God,
did
yes,
it make your heart
just...
just...
people. I took the whole factory there. I rented a bus and I took the whole factory. I thought it was awesome.
Aww.
Most recently, my cousin came to town, and we went into the American History Museum, and as we walked through the metal detector, there it was to the right, and I went, I didn't even know it was sitting there, and her jaw dropped. It talks about me growing up in Bowie and the whole bit. Yeah, that's a big leap, but you got to remember, Tracy, it was all done in teeny baby steps. There aren't these big leaps. Like, some bands are nobody, and they get a hit, and they're huge.
Right.
That's not the way it happened for us. It was all in micro baby steps.
They say hard work and
determination and love and care and teamwork. And it's not just me. There's a whole 250 people here.
But I read somewhere that your whole team is considered a family, and they put that love into the guitars.
It's the way it's felt around here. You know what happens when you put 270 people in the same building? Tracy, they start getting married. They start going out with each other.
That does happen sometimes, yes.
No, not sometimes, a lot. I can name. One of the couples got married here on the grounds.
So not only are you impacting the music industry and the music world, you're also impacting people on a very personal level.
Yeah, I think so. Somebody once told me the best thing we'd ever do for the world is providing 250 people with jobs.
Absolutely.
And I couldn't argue with them.
One of the people that you collaborated with is Ted McCarty.
Yeah.
How did that? For people out there who aren't familiar with Ted McCarty, he's the former president of Gibson, and then also created the Explorer, and I think it was the Flying V. So how has that helped or been?
I was sitting at the early PRS guitars, and I wanted to call him, and I was scared to call him. And Clay Evans, the then president of the company, says, "Paul, call him." I said, "Sure." He says, "Call him." So I called him, and he answered the phone. He picked up, and it all went from there. Ted was responsible for the Les Pauls and the Flying Vs and the Explorers and the ES-335s and, the SGs and all those famous guitars were all made under his tutelage between 1948 and 1966 was his reign. And he was generous enough, and I was fortunate enough that I became his student. Let me give you a little idea of the people in the band real quick, okay? So normally the bass player and drummer are Greg Granger and Gary Granger, the famous Granger brothers from Baltimore. Greg was in Whitney Houston's band, and Gary was in John Scofield's band with Dennis Chambers, amongst lots and lots of other bands that they played with, Mesa, God knows how many other people. Tomorrow, Gary will be there, and another drummer that plays with us often. His name is Blues Webb, and he played with the real famous band, the Winans, for like 8 years. He's very, very, very good drummer. So they'll be playing. Michael Alt, who's been my guitar partner on and off for over 30 years, will be playing guitar. Dr. Bill Nelson, who runs the Cancer Center at Hopkins, will be playing guitar, and Mia Simone will be singing. So it's 3 guitar players, a bass player, a drummer, and a singer.
So do you still get that sense of excitement or those butterflies before you go on stage?
I don't get butterflies at all, but I can tell you we all get excited when the band's going to play because it's just a good day. When we get up and we know we're going to play, it's a good day.
Well, there you go.
It's just a good day. Are you kidding? I'm in a band with the Granger Brothers. I just need to shut up. I need to shut up. Are you kidding me? I mean, it'd be like they're so good. It doesn't really matter. It's almost like if you've been on the top of Mount Everest and it's the tallest mountain on the earth, you're not going to go to a taller mountain. I mean, you might go to K2 and die, but for me, if something's really good, I admit it, and I just stand next to it and go, that's as good as it's going to get, and I'm great with it. Once in a while, this band does things, and I'm beaming. I'm just beaming that I'm allowed near it.
Feel like the proud papa?
I'm as much of a student as I am a leader. Trust me, they're teaching me every day.
So how did you guys hook up? Like, how did you guys get involved?
They had me play in Julia Nixon's band for a year and a half for free, and I didn't know it was an audition. I had no idea.
Oh, wow.
They just said, come play, and so I would show up, and I would play, and for a year and a half, I never got paid. And Gary walked in my office one day. He says, I'm your new bass player. I said, Gary Granger does not have the right to walk in my office and tell me he's my new bass player. He says, well, it just did. And I went, whoa. And about, 3 months later, the bass player took a job on Broadway with Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and he was playing in the pit band for real good money. And Gary, I called him, I said, it's time, and we were off to Germany, and we've been together ever since. So I got auditioned.
Well, there you go.
For a long time.
So for anybody out there listening who thinks they're just going to jump right into a band, even the best have to audition and pay their dues.
Tracy, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And again, folks, go to the Horseshoe Casino tomorrow, which is Friday. The band's going to be amazing. There's going to be the dedication. There's going to be interaction. It's just going to be a really fun, good night. So you're definitely going to do that. What time should people plan on being there, Paul?
We start at 8 o'clock and we play continuously to 10. We don't take sets. We don't stop. We start and we don't stop.
There you go. So make sure you get there early because there's going to be a big crowd. So again, I want to thank you so much, Paul, for talking with us today. It's been a real pleasure.
No problem. Thank you, Tracy. Me too. It's all been a joy. Thanks.
Absolutely. Again, I've been speaking with Paul Reed-Smith, and they'll be performing tomorrow at the Horseshoe Casino in Baltimore. Again, I'm Tracy Hart with the KHZTV Network.